Okay, so we'll get started before. I think we got enough attendees to get started. Yeah. So Pankaj, you can get started. Let me stop sharing and then you can start. I'll make you present. Yeah, now you should see the options.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Hey, thanks Manish. Thanks for that introduction. Okay, so hi everyone. This is my face. My name is Pankaj. Just wanted to give you a glimpse of whom you are talking to for the next like half an hour, and then I'll switch off my camera, and then I'll put the presentation mode on. So let me go back to audio mode, share my presentation, and let me know if that is visible to you. Okay, so as you all might know, any demo, any presentation doesn't go without any glitch. So I'm just facing a presentation mode issue. It says my browser is not allowing me to do that. Just give me a moment. We'll get through it. I think I'm good now. Manish, can you confirm, please?
Yes, we can see. Yeah,
Okay,
works.
great. Yeah. So thanks everyone for joining, and let's quickly start. So thanks Manish for that introduction of the group, and let me start by saying good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are joined in the globe, depending on that. My name is Pankaj, and I'm from Bangalore, India, and I'll be hosting you for next 20-25 minutes. Couple of quick things about me. I'm a marketing cloud consultant. I'm working with Marlabs in Bangalore, India, and I do love to unravel things about marketing cloud. And recently, I became a marketing cloud champion as well. On a personal front, I'm an avid runner who likes to run every day just to clear my mind, and of course, it helps you physically as well. Interestingly, I have acquired a new skill of late, and thanks to this pandemic, and I'm pretty sure you all can relate to this as well. I've learned to do a couple of things together which I haven't tried in my life. One is doing online meetings and managing my daughter's online classes, which I can do parallelly right now. I'm learning. It's been some time now, so I'm learning that, and that's how a new skill has been developed for past year or so. So before I start something on the marketing cloud consultant, basically what I wanted to understand was what is the composition of today's audience over here. So if you can quickly chat in terms of give me one, two, or three. One means beginner or almost no experience. Two means medium, and three means expert. You have around 1 year experience in marketing cloud. So can I get that quick poll going for me? One, two, or three, depending on how what kind of composition I have. So I'm getting ones, twos, a lot of ones I'm getting. Okay, ones and twos. Okay, great, fine. So I would say partially we have got a mixed combination of one and two, which I mean, oh Manish, you need not to mention it, so that's fine. Everybody knows you. In that case, what I'll do is what I feel is the composition is evenly balanced between one and two. I'm getting a lot of ones as well as twos. So from that perspective, what I'll start is what would you learn today? Okay, so moving to the next slide, what will you learn today? So what are we going to learn is who is a consultant, And when I say consultant, it's more of a, whenever I refer to a consultant, try and envisage a situation where you are discussing with a client, front facing, having that conversations, eliciting requirements, not gathering them. In these days, it's all about eliciting requirements. And what are those traits that you should have in order to get that thing going? Then what are the things that you need to do before a kickstarting a marketing cloud engagement? And by the way, this is generally, I would say, applicable for other engagements as well, but in the context of this group, it is for marketing cloud. And what are some templates, best practices, and hacks during a SFMC project that you can use, and things that you can do? So these are a couple of things that you learn at the end of this session, and hopefully I won't bore you to sleep, so you would be able to answer the question that I'll be forwarding that, and I'm pretty sure Manish would be having some nice and cool gifts for you guys ready. So is everybody ready to start? Can I get a one to give me going? Yes, we are good to start with this session. One. Come on guys. Great. Fine then. So I think I've got a green signal for everybody to start, and let's do that. Okay, any idea what is the difference between a SFMC project and other sales cloud projects that you might have worked on, might not have worked on? There are some basic parameters, but since the audio conversation mode is not enabled, if you can let me know what is the primary difference that you feel is between a marketing cloud project or another sales service kind of projects. What is the difference do you feel? Anything, any responses? One is demandware and other are Salesforce product. Okay, Prakash is automation versus UI mode. Sanju is responding. Harry is saying there is no sandbox in FFMC. Yes, I would agree that, Harry. SFMC is for B2C, SFDC is for B2B. Amit, yeah, you can say that. Who else? What else is the difference between those? And then, guys, just understand there is no right or wrong answers to that. So please put it in. There might be right answers and there might be something new learnings. That's it. There's no wrong answers. But yeah, Harry, I like that. There's no sandboxes in FMC. Actually, you have to tell those clients which are aware of sales or service module. Current sales focuses more on marketing. Absolutely, it is for marketing. So it's all about marketing. Fine. So let me just get on to a couple of experiences that I have. What is the difference between Salesforce and other Salesforce cloud projects like sales or service? Duration of the project. What I've realized is in marketing SFMC or marketing cloud, the durations of projects are shorter in general. Okay, and what tends to happen is basically if until it is a long-term phase-wise project, the products that they want to, let's say for example, they want to start using email studio within, let's say, 1 or 2 months, start learning on their top. So the audience or the stakeholders in this projects are marketing team, which is smaller in number in general. Okay, like compared to sales cloud implementation where the sales teams are big in number, marketing cloud is generally a small teams. So the duration of the projects is generally smaller. That's what I've seen. Team strength, of course, as I said, marketing teams are there generally lesser in compared to sales and service method. Generally they are big, but compared to that, stakeholders are different. In this case it's marketing team, and in some cases, not in some cases, but it's also about your IT teams which will be involved in that. Configuration versus customizations, this is a very interesting word. Marketing cloud, and this is applicable to Salesforce in general. Salesforce is moving towards a lot of configurations rather than customizations. Okay, when I say configurations and customization, basically it means is point and click versus writing a code to do something. Okay, so configurations versus customization. So the world is moving towards, and Salesforce 2 is moving towards configurations. The idea is to configure the things with point and click with basic knowledge of using the system and get moving. So marketing cloud is no different than that. Marketing cloud is geared towards, as you know, marketing teams which are not tech savvy in nature. So the idea is to make sure that the stakeholders over here, marketing teams, are very well versed with this. Hence it is more of a configuration system. Product awareness. Okay, what is product awareness? Product awareness is basically knowledge of marketing cloud in the world, in the Salesforce ecosystem. So as you might be aware that sales and service clouds are like everywhere, everybody knows in and about it, everybody has information. But with Marketing Cloud, the scope of awareness is really, really limited from a client perspective. So based on my understanding, what we have seen is clients are not really aware of what this product is, how it works, what all it can do. So that is the kind of awareness that I feel is still missing with the client, and that's where the consultant is positioned over here, that he helps the client to understand the potential of the product. Right now you have engaged me to do, for example, email studio implementation, with the help of which you can send beautiful emails, but this product can do 10 more things. That's where the work of a consultant comes in, which I'll talk about. So this is the difference that I feel is between this Marketing Cloud projects and the sales or service typical projects, where this comes in handy. Okay, what next? Okay, who is a good consultant? First of all, what is a consultant, and then who is a good consultant? Good consultants, any thought process according to you, what is a good consultant? If you're aware of who's a consultant is, any thought process, any ideas, what are the traits of a good consultant, I would say? Yeah, any thoughts, any ideas on that? What would a consultant? Okay, Sanju is saying providing solutions. Agreed, he should provide solutions. What else? Good listener and deep knowledge of the platform. Agreed, Harshit. Who solves customers pain points? Absolutely. So as I said, guys, no wrong or right answers, so please pitch in. Okay, I might also learn a thing or two. So it's not that I have worked on it, so I have every much of information on it. It's all about two-way traffic. Okay, so in the context of a consultant, and as I said, the positioning of a consultant is who basically starts with engagement when the Marketing Cloud project is just about to be initiated, and till the time it is delivered, and probably in some cases post-production support as well. So the consultant is engaged in the end-to-end life cycle of that particular Marketing Cloud project, right from the time, in some cases pre-sales as well. And by the time we start that project, a consultant engages with a customer. He makes sure that the requirement elicitation sessions or discovery workshops or requirement gathering sessions are conducted in a way that it should be. Get the requirements, get it signed off, make sure the solution is deployed, built, deployed, tested, UAT'd, and then finally put into live production. And as you all might know, there is nothing like going live in Marketing Cloud technically, because everything is live. Another difference that I was talking about, in Marketing Cloud everything is live, because there is no sandboxes. So whatever you do in Marketing Cloud, it's on a live system. So we have to be very careful while informing the customer. And we do recommend adding level of approvals or verification before doing anything, before releasing, for example, a campaign. So this is one of the things that I would say is a trait of a good consultant. Then coming back, there, if you can see, there are two boxes. A consultant or a good consultant is basically consist of two major things. One is a domain knowledge, another is a technical knowledge. So technical knowledge, do I need to focus on? I don't think so. Everybody is aware of the technical knowledge. When I say technical knowledge, basically the knowledge of Marketing Cloud. Okay. Email Studio works. What are the different limitations? So basically, it's not only about going and creating a campaign and deploying it. This consultant is all about talking about the best practices, talking about, for example, if I take a scenario of a journey builder, if it is a hospitality customer and they want to release a campaign, the idea as a good consultant is you should understand both the aspect of it. First of all, the technical aspect, that you should be aware about the platform capabilities, what are the limitations of it, what are the best practices of that, and you should guide your customer towards it. Okay, so if they are trying to make a deviation, you should stand in a way of saying that this is a Salesforce best practice, and this has been recommended by hundreds of the customer based on which Salesforce product is designed. So please try and use it the way Salesforce is recommending. So those are small things from a technical angle that is required of a consultant in day-to-day life, not even in the beginning of the project. What is domain knowledge? Domain knowledge is something which is very hard to obtain unless you have spent a considerable amount of time in a particular sector. So as I said, if the example is of hospitality industry, of a resort, And I'll take a real life example of a customer that I was working with in America, in East Coast of America, who was running a hospitality resort chain. So I was new to this domain, hospitality industry. So what are the ways of actually tackling this scenario? Domain knowledge, how the hospitality industry works. So that was one of the things that I needed to learn, and that was quickly, because the project was about to get started, and I hadn't worked on hospitality industry or that domain, to be precise. So what do I do then? In that case, internet comes to your rescue. Your ohana / parivar comes to your rescue. So how do I obtain it? The one simple answer is research and spend time on it. When I say research, it involves talking to people. It involves searching, going on their website and seeing what are their different modules, processes, who's the end customer, is it B2B, B2C. All that kind of analysis needs to be done by a good consultant. Ask for any existing documentation or processes that they have. It will give you a picture of how they are built right now. And of course, internet is anyways there for you to rescue. So read everything and anything about it from a domain perspective. That's how you can tackle this domain side of things. And as I said, the sweet spot is somewhere in between. And any consultant should be able to have a conversation which will, you should have a balance of domain knowledge as well as the technical expertise, because a customer might be technical, might not be technical. It could be either ways. Or the stakeholders in general might be technical or might not be technical. So not necessarily you're supposed to talk in a technical language. It could be in a talk in a normal business language. So business language, certainly they will understand, and that comes from your knowledge of domain. So that's what you do. Okay, any thoughts if I get stuck on a technical query in Salesforce Marketing Cloud? What is this action that I should do? And that is in front of the customer. In front of the customer, because I have been in various situations talking to the customer, and they ask us question, for example, about a journey builder, a specific detail that they ask, and I'm not aware of that question. What do you think I should do? And that is in front of the customer. You cannot simply Google it and get your work around. Any thoughts, guys? What should I do? Because this happens a lot with me, honestly, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you might have faced this situation. So any thoughts on that? Anyone? What is the best way of handling those situations? And this is more of a behavioral thing. We will look and get back to you, Amit. Yes, one of the possible answers, absolutely. I'll certainly check and let you know. Or I might delegate it to somebody. If I have a colleague with me right now, I can ask him to actually check that and come back to us instead of me waiting for the end. There could be multiple scenarios, but okay, given a typical situation, you are gathering a requirement, or I would let's not use the word gathering requirements, use eliciting requirements in front of the customer, having a discovery workshop. Imagine a room full of 20 people, big presentation room, and you are having a conversation around a process on Marketing Cloud, and suddenly you are bombarded with questions from all around. Imagine that situation, being in that situation, and in a lot of cases you might not know the answers. Okay, so those situations is one of the days a consultant goes through, where you are talking to the customer, whether physically or in front, or it's these days it's on Zoom or Exact Teams. So those are the kind of situations a consultant goes through, and there is no right or wrong answer to that. So in some of the cases you can certainly say, I'll confirm and come back to you. In some of the cases you are supposed to know the answers, honestly, because not a lot of times you can say, no, I'll check and get back to you. It gives no confidence kind of situation in front of the customer. So there are various situations that can be handled with the help of this scenario. But yeah, it's like a mix of hidden trial experience that helps you to sail through those situations. In case you're not in front of the customer, there are 4 different ways of actually getting the information that you're looking for. Use it every day. That first is, in case if it is something related to a feature that needs to be enabled or not enabled, for example, then in case raise a case in Salesforce. Parallelly, you can gouge Stack Exchange. Stack Exchange is one of the biggest hack or work or a solution to your. Make sure you hang on to Stack Exchange, because you get a lot of solutions to the problem, because as you are aware, there is very less information on the internet around it. So that is other thing. You can always reach out to the trail if you are a partner or a client, And of course, there are certain WhatsApp communities also going around, with the help of which you can actually get that information. Okay, next big question, and I'll need to skip it, otherwise Manish will ping me that I'm breaching my time. What is the next big question? There's a lot of debate right now happening in the community, Salesforce community, whether it's good to have a certification or not. Okay, and like everyone, I do have an opinion, and my firm belief is you should have certifications. Okay, there is no way around it. Imagine a good consultant should have certification under his or her belt, because it shows the kind of expertise that you have in the platform. Because customer doesn't know you, you go into a requirement elicitation workshop, what comes before is the kind of experience, the kind of uh, certifications you are done. So that is always handy. So please try and have certifications under your belt. It's never harms. Okay, and the image over here which shows you, which I have shamelessly copied from Salesforce Ben's is on the right hand side of the triangle. You can see what is the career pathway, rather certification pathway from SFMC. So starting from the bottom, Marketing Cloud Admin, that is a prerequisite for your Marketing Cloud consultant or developer, and then you can directly go and get Marketing Cloud Email Specialist. So I am a Marketing Cloud Email Specialist. I am an aspiring Marketing Cloud Admin certification, and I have failed twice on Marketing Cloud Consultant. So that's where uh, certainly my skills goes. Okay, moving on. So what is the next one that we are going through? Okay, how many of you are aware of Magic Quadrant, Gartner's Magic Quadrant? Quickly, guys, give me the answers. Magic Quadrant, one for yes, two for no. One for yes, two for no. How many of you are aware of Gartner's Magic Quadrant? Come on, one for yes, two for no. Okay, I got couple of ones, couple of twos, so it's kind of in balance. More, one for yes, two for no. Fine. Go and Google it. I would say, for the people who haven't, who are now not aware, what is a read in detail about Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Gartner is a good research firm, a reputed research firm, which comes out with ratings of the softwares. In this case, the various marketing cloud products out there. And if you can see, Salesforce is right on the extreme right, top right, which is the best place to be. Okay, and Salesforce is on top. So that shows the kind of product awareness that Salesforce, rather the expertise that Salesforce has in this ecosystem. But wait a second, a good consultant also is aware what is the nearest competition. In this case, if you can see, its closest one is Adobe, Oracle, SAS, SAP. These are the other products in this domain. So what are these products? You should be aware, because customer might be using these products, might be thinking of using these products, and it's always comes in handy for you to know what are these products, what is their main strength and weaknesses. So Gartner does a very good job in actually analyzing the strength and weakness of each product over here in detail. So once the presentation is over, we will, or rather Manish and team will share across this presentation, in which I have actually pinned down all the links of the what do you say, the research that has been done by Gartner. So you will be able to see that. Okay, moving on. Okay, additions. A good consultant should also always be aware what are the different commercial aspect of Marketing Cloud. Okay, so if you see a simple Google image will this Google, rather a simple Google search will show you what are the different aspects of Marketing Cloud. So I will just stop sharing and share my whole screen. Let me see if it works, because I wanted to show you some other things as well. Let me see. This is not allowing me to do a lot of things, but that's how the demos and presentations are. Another day in the life of a consultant, by the way. Okay, so simply go to salesforce.com, choose a product, Marketing Cloud over here, marketing, and then that's how you'll start looking into come down and you see editions. These are the different editions of Marketing Cloud. A good consultant always has a know-how of how the editions work, and getting 2 or 3 levels down, what are the limitations, what are the capabilities of each edition, which I'll talk about in a bit. So if you see what are the different editions over here, different Marketing Cloud pricing based on the different feature list, like Salesforce CDP, loyalty management. Loyalty management is pretty new. Then we have got B2B and B2C. B2B is more of from a part standpoint. B2C is from this standpoint, Salesforce Marketing Cloud. If I click on these editions, there you go. So this is basically 4 types of editions. You're talking about basic, pro as in professional, corporate, and enterprise. Okay, these are the 4 different editions. And what is more interesting is, rather than the price to a consultant, would be what are the features in each one of them. Okay, so if you can see, what, for example, in the basic one, what are the features that are available? Email marketing, content creation, integration with Sales Cloud, journey builder, mobile messaging. So these are the things that are available as a part of basic. Pro, as a good consultant, always carries a know-how of what are in and out. For example, if I take a corporate edition, if I purchase that, can I have multiple business unit? If the answer is no, because multiple managed business units, oh, here is the cross. So a good consultant always has a know-how of what are the different editions available, and getting a low a feature below. And I'll again come back and stop sharing and again share, because this is not allowing me to share my whole screen for some reason. Yeah, so this is a detailed PDF which a consultant should be aware of. Basic, pro, corporate, enterprise. In each one, let me zoom in a bit. See, that's where the magic happens. These are the limitations or features that are available in each one, and you should be aware of it. For example, a very critical one, super messages. Who all are aware of super messages? Yes for one, two for no. Who all are aware of super messages over here? What is a super message? Okay, once. Couple of people are saying once. Come on, one or two. One for yes, two for no. Who all are aware of additions? Sorry, super messages. Okay, I'm getting again mix of 1 and 2, so I'll talk about it. Okay, super messages are nothing but, it's for example, if you send an email that consumes one super message, that is the definition, the unit of messages. So super messages, you buy certain package of a super messages as a per your contract, and then you consume it. So if you send, for example, a SMS, and there are many details in under that, but if you send an email, an interactive one, you will be consuming, for example, 1 unit of super messages, and you buy in chunks of super messages. If you create a cloud page in Marketing Cloud, and there is an impression on it, you consume one. Okay, so there are different aspect of super messages which are there, and I have included that in my PPT, that you can have a look and see what is the super messages and how do I consume it. Okay, so let me see if I have opened it over here. And apologies guys, I need to stop share and unshare every time, because there is some issue right now with my laptop. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. Great. So this is a super message, and this again link is embedded in your PPT. So see, these are, so one email impression consumes one super message. One, for example, one mobile push or a message consumes one super message. One email of interactive type consumes one super message, and one high priority triggered email consumes 4 super messages. So that's how the email super messages are consumed. Like for example, one cloud pages impression consumes one super message. One group message consumes 10 super messages. So you have to, as a good consultant, it's your duty to understand the contract, how many super messages are allowed in the contract, and explain it to the customer. Based on it, which you should take your decisions to create how many emails to be sent. Imagine the number of emails you send, and it will consume one super message from the quantity that has been purchased by your client. So this is a detailed document around that, and you can obviously read that, but it's a very good information to have in terms of as a consultant. Okay, coming back to my PPT. What next? Okay. Now, there are two important things that I would like to cover before I hand it over to Manish and team. One is pre-discovery and stage, and another is discovery stage. So pre-discovery stage is before you begin the project. What are the things that you need to do? Okay. So there are certain things as a consultant that you should do. First of all, engage with the client if possible. Try and have a conversation, see if they are available so that you get your queries resolved before the first day of the discovery workshops. You should prepare a workshop schedule, a detailed workshop schedule. On day one we'll be having 2 hours of discussion on this topic, and a template would also accompany in this thing. So it's a detailed hour by hour schedule that you need to prepare, that you will be engaged with the customer. So for example, for 2 weeks a discovery shop is scheduled. You need to make sure that those 2 hours, those 2 weeks, you are utilizing maximum time, mileage or face value with the customer, assuming it is happening face to face. So that this workshop schedule is very important, because the way things works on the customer side is you have stakeholders who are engaged in getting you the face time with different stakeholders. Okay, so they need to also book their calendars well in advance. So you should prepare a workshop schedule and share it with the stakeholders so that they can book calendar well in advance. Another good thing is questionnaire preparation. Okay, this is very good thing, and this will give you some meat into what a consultant does and how he thinks and how he progresses in discovery workshops. So what is a question? So basically, what kind of questions you should ask a customer in discovery workshops. And by the way, this is based on experience. This is not this is horses for courses wala situation. So pick and choose the battles or the questions that you can decide, but this is a holistic view that I'm providing. So I'll just quickly show you that. Where is the one? I've prepared a questionnaire list, and I'll share it with you guys right away so that I can show you that. Okay, so this is a generic questions that I have prepared that comes in handy, and this should be, as a good consultant, you shouldn't be asking this question one by one. This should be a part of a conversation that you'll be having with the customer and making sure you're getting answers to those questions. And some of the basic ones or general inquiries would be which additions are these different modules using. You might get the information before and from a contact. If not, then you should ask, what is the use case? Is B2B, B2C? By the way, Marketing Cloud can also be used for B2B scenarios as well. B2C, anyways, it is there, but for B2B as well. What is your existing marketing processes? What is the tool that you are using? They might be using some tool, marketing automation tool. They might be using email blast. You should know about that. What is the use? Who is the source of truth? Where does your data reside? Is there any integration involved with multiple system? It could be Salesforce CRM. It could be another CRM. What is the amount of campaigns that you are launching per month, per week? How you're tracking your engagements, like open, click rates. What is the channel of campaigns that you're using? It could be email, SMS, any app. Those are some of the basic questions that you should ask to the client during a conversation, of course wrapped up in a beautiful conversation. This cannot be simple question and answer sessions, because that's not how good consultants behave and work. Next set of questions is more technical questions. I created some questions, and the link is there in the PPT, this PPT as well, where, for example, if you are having a discovery workshop related to a journey builder, what channels? Some of the questions that could come across is, what are the channels that the journey builder will be using? Email, SMS, or anything else? What kind of campaigns you are using? What are KPIs? They need to email throttle. Okay, one important thing that I want to stress over here time and again is, consultants are there to help the customer. Okay, so apart from the fact that you are asking questions, you are also recommending something. So email throttle is something that if customer doesn't think of, this is something that you should come from this should come from your consultation background, that okay, you should do IP warming, for example. If they are not aware of IP warming, explain him the process or them the process. This is the where your consulting skills comes into picture. It's not about only asking questions and documenting it and developing it. No, absolutely not. That is not a trait of a good consultant. Instead, what it is asking questions, recommending features or solutions, helping them out with the understanding that they have or they don't have. and of course at the same time listening to their pain points, as somebody mentioned. Yeah. So email throttle, this is a good example of, if they are not aware of it, you should ask that question and make them aware that this should be done as a practice, or IP warming for that sake. Journey timelines. So these are some basic questions that I won't go in detail, but yes, something that can be utilized as a part of your consulting practice. Then in the bottom, what I have done is from an angle of Social Studio. If, for example, you're doing implementation of Social Studio, these are some of the questions that you can ask, and these are detailed in nature, that you can ask the customer. So at least to get a hang of the situation of what is the requirement, and based on that, you can capture those requirements. Okay, any questions on that? I'll take a pause because this is very important. Any pause, anything, any questions on that? Anybody would like to have? Okay. Yes, Mani sir. Agreed. The super messages are based on, absolutely, it's based on the contract. Okay, Karan, where do I get this from? This is simply based on experience, nothing different. This is collated based on, as I said, experience, the exercises that I have done, as well as, of course, in some of the cases, there's some documentation available with Salesforce as well, from where I've actually done it. And this is a for guidance only. This is no way means exhausting one. And as Mani sir said, all the features in India, I mean, I've also worked with Indian customers. They do go ahead with that, and they do want to quickly wrap up the project, go install build email studio for them and go out of it. Okay. And of course, one important thing, since Mani sir has mentioned, one important thing is in the super messages, there is a limit, and you can obviously purchase that. So one of the things that is there in the contract as well, you should look for as a good consultant is, what is the amount of super messages that I have bought, and what is the overage charges. So if you want to purchase more, what is the charge on it? So I'll talk about it in a bit. Okay, so what is that domain understanding? Next point is domain understanding. I did touch base upon domain understanding in the previous slide, so I'll skip this point. Contract understanding. Okay, that's good. So what is a contract and how do I understand this? So one of the important thing from a consultant background is you should be aware what is the contract the client is. Assumingly you are a partner who is implementing the marketing cloud. In that case, you should be aware of the contract and what are the things that to look in the contract. So unfortunately, I cannot show you any contract because, as you would assume, that this is a legal binding. I cannot show you anything. Neither I have a sample format for that, unlike other things that I've mentioned. But what you should look in a contract is very important. One of the things I told you is about super messages. There could be other things that you should be looking into. One of the very important thing is the contacts that you have purchased. If you remember that sheet that I showed you, it under each editions, it has got number of contacts that are provided as a part of that. And of course, you can purchase on top of it if you want it. But you should be very keen on looking on those details of how many contacts that is there as a part of that. How many SAPs do you have? And do you actually need that? Do you have a use case for a private domain? Contact I spoke about. And do you understand what is meant by a contact and when a subscriber is counted as a contact? So all those technical things, whether contact sits on top, subscriber is used for email studio, all those nitty gritties you should be aware in order to understand the contract properly. Okay. What about number of business units? How many of them your particular edition has? Is it only one? Is it more than one? How do you work on that? So what else could be there? Yes, another important thing, what kind of Salesforce support does this contract provide? There are multiple level of Salesforce support. I think highest being, if I'm not wrong, premier support, wherein they respond within 2 hours of your raising query, depending on the severity of it. But yes, those are some of the things that you should look in a contract and try and understand and see what are the overage charges as well. So if is bought, let's say for example, in a bulk of super messages quantity X, what is the overage charges if I want to buy Y more? So you should be aware of that and guide your customer or client on that, because client in a lot of cases is not able to understand if they're not technical enough in marketing cloud. So you are the one who is actually helping them to understand the nitty gritties of it and guiding them along the way, that if we use, for example, an interactive email, high priority email versus a simple email, there could be implications on super messages as well. So that kind of know-how you should have as a consultant, and whenever you are discovering the requirement workshops, you should bring that clarity and knowledge and help the customer. Yeah, anything on this? Otherwise I'll move on to the next one. Yes, current is no sandbox still. Yes, unfortunately, team, as you know, there are no just like sales and service, you cannot go and spin out a dev org and start learning that. So that is not available right now in the market. Okay, so and if somebody is interested in how to learn SFMC, there are some other talks that I have done which are purely focused on the people who want to get into Salesforce Marketing Cloud. What are the different ways of getting into Marketing Cloud or Salesforce Marketing ecosystem? I have spoken about it in my previous conversations. You can go and refer that via my LinkedIn profile. Moving on. So next one is discovery stage. I don't think so I'm sharing the screen right now, but I'll do in a second. And this would be one of my last slides going forward because I've consumed too many super messages. Oh, sorry, too much time. So, okay, discovery stage. Now the day comes where you are talking about going to meet the client or on a Teams. What do you do? First thing is I would recommend based on my experience is with whatever understanding that you have, and try and make that understanding in pre-discovery phase. Try and come up with a demo. Okay, client might have seen demo from a Salesforce perspective while purchasing the contract, but it's your duty and it's a good in your sense, it's a good thing to show what is out there, explain them the features, and of course make sure that it's in a language or it's in a text that the customer understands. So for example, if you are working in a hospitality segment and you are doing a requirement gathering for a campaign based on journey builder, make sure you create a demo around it and showcase it to the customer first up. It will help you in multiple ways. I'll tell you why. First of all, it shows you're prepared, you are aware of that. It shows the confidence that you are the expert, technical expert, and client can bank on you. And third, and probably one of the most one is, client can understand the know-how of the system, because in lot many cases I have seen people are not aware of the capabilities of the product. So you might have to stretch a bit, but that's a very good starting point in any discovery workshop. First up with a customer, building that rapport, that expertise, and that awareness that you know the product, you have come to the right people, and this is how it works, and you then take it from there. Of course, then there is RASI. RASI is a matrix for all of you know. This is one of the documentation that is very important, and a typical project management exercise. I won't stress too much on that, but it's basically saying that responsibility, accountability, and then information. All those four acronyms are there. That's what RASI stands for. Requirement gathering template. Okay, what is a requirement gathering? So requirement, rather elicitation it should be, that's my bad. It should be requirement elicitation template. What is the difference, by the way? Anyone? Requirement gathering and elicitation, what is the difference between that? It's very subtle difference, but anyone, between gathering and elicitation, what is the difference? Yes, and you will get the questions, but anyone with any what is the difference between requirement gathering, which is a very generic word used a lot, versus requirement elicitation? Okay, the subtle difference is, and very important in a lot of cases, customer doesn't know the requirement in a lot of cases, or you have to read between the lines. There is not black and white in requirements, as you might have seen. And if you haven't seen, a good consultant always make sure that his gathering or listing the requirements in black and white as much as possible, which is a very daunting task, considering there's a lot of things that are happening. Sometimes customers are not aware of the process, they are not ready, sometimes they are, but they are not very sure what to do. So in that context, the job of a consultant becomes very difficult and important as well, wherein you have to make sure that you get the requirements in black and white as much as possible. Okay, so requirement elicitation is a process of extracting that information. So customer might not tell everything, but you have to ask the right question in order to elicit that requirements. And the question that I showed earlier will come in handy, where what it will do is it will help you to ask right questions so that customer can talk. And once customer keeps on talking, you'll get those answers. So it's not only about customer telling you and you document it. It's about customer telling, you asking the right questions, and driving the conversation to a fruitful discussion. And that template, one of the templates, in the paucity of time, I'm not showing that template, but one of the template I have attached as a part of this presentation, which is in a form of a user story format, which you might not be aware. So as a marketer, I want to create a campaign and send the emails to these people. One very important aspect as a consultant, make sure you require to the field level as much as possible. The more you do it in the workshop, the better it is for your development team. So try and get it to the level of field level. When I say field level, what I mean to say is getting the very details of it. And one of the best way that I have used and learned and used it, for example, I'll go back to my journey builder scenario. So if the journey builder is there, try and create a journey in front of the client and show it how it should work, and capture the requirement in context of that journey itself. This is a very good way of doing it, and I've used it. It works totally. Okay. So this template will be coming as a part of this slide. As is in to be process diagram, absolutely, this is must have. Everybody, as you know, is visual in nature. So they like to see as is, what is the as is process that they are following, and what should be the to be process. To be process could be a journey builder diagram that you have used to elicit the requirements. So that could be a to be diagram because it's very visual in nature. And MOM means minutes of the meeting. This is, guys, very important, very less spoken, very important aspect, because you have to document everything as a part of consultant. Let's say you have 4 hour session, test 4 hours, it goes in documenting everything, making sure nothing is left. And so that by the end of exercise, you don't miss any requirements. It comes in very handy. Believe me, it's very less spoken and very important at the same times. I've learned it the hard way. So this is one thing that is there. Couple of quick things: get the email templates from the customer. This is very crucial for email studio. If you're using email templates, get it upfront. In some cases you design it, in some cases customer has a UI designer who designs it. So you need to make them understand how Marketing Cloud Email Studio works, so that he can use out of the box features to develop this templates. Reporting requirements, another very less spoken and important factor. As you might be aware, Marketing Cloud capabilities are restricted in a lot of cases if you need very rich reporting. So you should be aware of what kind of reporting requirement capability system has, and based on that, have conversations with the client and gather or capture the requirements for reporting. Be ready with the IP warming template. I think I have included that link in this template. IP warming is a process to kickstart your journeys going out of the emails out of your Marketing Cloud instance. This is also, again, a consultant's angle. If they are not aware of it, you should make them aware what is a IP warming exercise, how it needs to be done, and the template is there. Everything needs to be in some cases customer are smart enough, they are aware, they ask you question. In some cases you need to tell them. So I've faced both kind of clients. So but yes, you should be ready with that. And training documentation, again, this should be provided to the, for example, your marketing team and other team members as a part of this engagement. uh, these all templates I have provided as a part of this exercise. But make sure, guys, at the end of it, I would like to sum up with three key things. As a consultant, be assertive in saying whatever you want to say. Okay, it helps a lot. Second very important thing is you are the expert. Okay, make sure you behave like one and talk. And third and last and most important thing is talk in terms of templates and frameworks. Any good consultant will only talk in terms of templates and frameworks. Like I told you, email templates, IP warming templates, everything should be ready when you go to the discovery stage discussing with the customer. Without it, don't go to the customer. Okay, so you give them upfront that this, in this format I want the data. It helps you in two ways: capturing the requirement precisely. Second thing is showing the confidence to the customer that you have been there, done that. They will have that belief in you. That is very important. So absolutely. And I'm not touch basing on communication skills, speaking skills. Those are by default, you should be having it. So I'm not stressing on those ones. So yeah, I mean, that's what from my side. Apologies if I've taken a bit more, but I think I was more of talking from my heart rather than from my mind. So it's a very good job, but very difficult at the same time. But yes, if you have these key ingredients in you, certainly make it through. Yes, Manish, I think I'm done. Thanks for your time, guys.
Pankaj, it was very detailed, yeah, and very useful. Definitely, I think you covered a lot of things, and it's very,
Sure.
yeah, very useful for anyone who's starting into Marketing Cloud as a consultant to know to be ready with what for the discovery sessions. Any questions before we get into the quiz? So if not, so the format for the quiz is we'll have just one question with 4 options. You just need to type in the option 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoever answers it first. So we have only like 18 attendees or 17 attendees. So just the fastest finger wins. So get ready. I mean, get your fingers ready on the keyboard. So
Manish,
Pankaj,
can I participate? Can I participate?
You know the answer, right? So yeah.
Okay. So Manish, do you want me to present that question or?
Yeah, you can share.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. And how would you record that, Manish? If I share and then.
So we'll just check the chat. Whoever
Okay,
answers
chat.
it first. Yeah.
Fine. So guys, all set? Can I get a big 1 for yes? If everybody is ready for that quiz question, can I get 1 for yes? Remember, you can win a lot of prizes, huh? So don't miss. Can I get 1? Yes. Okay, people are excited. Fine. I'll go and share that now. Here it goes. 3, 2, 1. Which of the below options is not considered under super messages? So basically, which of the below options are not under super messages? It's out of the ambit of super messages. Interactive email, cloud page impressions, Einstein content selection, or none of the above. Which one is not considered under super messages? I'm also excited to see the chat. Okay. Okay, so I am getting threes, a lot of threes, 2 4s, I think. And yes, 3 4s, in fact. Couple of ones as well. Abhishek is 2 3 at Abhishek. There is no option as 23, so I'm sorry. So let me know, Manish, when do you want to close this?
I think we got enough.
Yeah.
Right. I think we got enough. Just reveal the answer and we'll see who's got.
Sure. So is everyone ready to see the answer? The answer is, wait for a pause. 4. Fifth option, none of the above. All 3 options are considered under super messages, whether it's email, interactive email, whether your cloud pages, and there was Einstein one. So the 4th is the correct answer. 4th / none of the above. So I've seen a couple of people writing that.
I think
So we
the
need to write.
first one is Sanju who has done it, right?
Uh,
Yeah. Yep.
Was it Sanju? Okay. Yes, I think so. Sanju, then Shreya, then I think Harshit, and I think Harry also mentioned. In fact, Harry was the one who said none of the above prior to Sanju, if I'm not wrong in the chat.
No, Sanju said it first. Yeah. In the beginning
Okay.
itself. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yes, I could see Sanju. Yeah. Yeah.
So thanks for that, Sanju. You can just write down your email. I'll contact you after the call. Yeah, with the certification voucher details. Yep. Congrats again. Thank you. Thanks, Pankaj. It was very useful. So I think Pankaj will still stay in. If you have any questions, you can keep asking him while we move into the second topic.
I think. Yes, please.
Yep. So let's move on to Arun. So Arun, you have presented access, right? So Arun will be covering the DevOps with Copado topic. Slightly different, but it's more on the core. Yeah, so you'll know the difference between how you deploy in SFMC and normal Salesforce instances.
Yeah. Thanks, Manish. Hello, guys. Good evening and good morning. Thanks, Pankaj, for the nice and very useful session on the Marketing Cloud. Now I'm going to go through about Copedo, DevOps with Copedo. Let me share my screen. Manish, are you able to see my screen? Okay, good. Hello guys, myself Arun Kumar. I'm working in international baccalaureate as a Salesforce developer and a Salesforce DevOps engineer. So I have more than 10 years of experience in Salesforce and the Salesforce development itself. So I'll go through the topics. So today's agenda is about DevOps and the Copedo. So what are all the key categories, like key things in the DevOps, and next about the Copedo and how are we achieving those DevOps concepts in Copedo. Okay, let me go through what is DevOps. Okay, DevOps is a combination of the development and the operations. Okay, so the term DevOps comes from the development and operation. So initially, so before long back, so we were having the different teams for the development and the operation. So the development will especially take care of all the code developments and everything, but the operations will take care of the IT desktop things and the infrastructure things, and also the release management things. So after the DevOps concepts introduced, most of the those teams, we don't need a separate team for the development and operations. So we always combine all teams together, so that the development team itself will develop their requirements and also take care of the release managements and all the. But since Salesforce and all, maybe all the other cloud tools are don't need the infrastructure team, so the DevOps team is a single team who takes care of all the development and the operations, which is the release management. So it's a combination of building, coding, planning, everything. So everything will be taken care of the one team itself. Phases in the DevOps. Okay, we have the continuous integration, continuous delivery, and the continuous deployment. We will go through one by one in this slide. So, what is CI/CD? So we usually call it a CI/CD. So CI is continuous integration. Continuous integration is kind of a ongoing integration. So it's a continuous integration of the what of the development happens in the different sandboxes or different environments, you should say. Like we can have multiple development team, we can have a multiple developers who work on a different sandbox environments, and whenever they do their own development, uh, but all those developments, even though it happens in a different environments, it has to go to a single production environment, right? So before going into the production environment, we should integrate all this development into a single environment where we can do our a testing of if there is a clash between those requirements, if there is a change components who which have been changed in the both of these projects, or both of these um, 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 like same component has been updated in the same different projects. So since if you have a DevOps tool if you have a DevOps tool in your project, then automatically DevOps tool itself automatically takes care of all these integrations. So you don't need to worry about the integrations, merge concepts. Most of the mergers, if it's simple, it will be taken care of the DevOps tool itself. So the continuous integration will be the integrating our codes. Okay, continuous delivery is like after you complete your integration, you have to deploy your changes, right? You have to deploy your changes to multiple environments. So the continuous delivery will be the automated delivery concept introduced or until the UAT environment, not the production environment. But the difference between the continuous delivery and the continuous deployment is continuous deployment will be taken care of the automated deployments until the production. Here you can integrate so many tools also inside this process. Like you can integrate Selenium, not the Selenium. It's a test automation tool. You can integrate our code review tool in between the pipeline. Okay, through need for the DevOps, so you can make the changes and you can easily move your changes frequently. So you can frequently move your changes, and it reduces your lead time, it reduces the failures, because you can avoid the lot of last minute failures if you do a continuous deployments, right? That quick recovery from the possible failure. Yeah, so it will resolve these issues too. Like it can increase your trust with the client, and you can work smarter, and you can solve a lot of critical issues. Okay. Okay, these are the maturity level. Like initially, when you do the changes, you have to select and commit those changes and deploy it. So you usually use version control for maintaining your component versions, and then agile releases. So we are all working in the agile concepts. So we have to do our releases every 2 weeks or 3 weeks as a sprint schedule, right? And then intelligent automation. The automation is like multiple automated automation tools you can include in your pipeline itself, and the continuous delivery. Yeah, you can automate your deployment itself. There is no need of a manual intervention for the deployments. And then Copado. So Copedo is one of our Salesforce deployment tool, DevOps tool, where you can plan, track, and carry your DevOps activities and the deployment. Actually, the DevOps activities consist of all the deployments and the code reviews and automations and everything. Okay. Version control system. You always need a version control system to have it as a single source of truth. Copedo always uses a version control system as a source of truth. It doesn't take the changes from environment and deploy it to the other environments. So it always takes your changes from the version control system. We also call it as repositories. In the repositories, we will have all our changes, and Copedo always takes the changes from the repositories and deploy it to our corresponding next environments. Okay. Benefits of version control system. So we can backup. We can take the we can schedule our backups also. We can take backup of our code repositories, and put it as a branch in our repositories. So you can so that you keep version control system always keep the version. If you make changes in a single component also, it's like always take care of the versions. Okay. History. So it's like all whenever you make a change to a file, it keeps the old version and the new version also. Let's say I have created a class. Today I have created a class and committed my changes, so it will be the first version. So after that, maybe after 2 days or 3 days, if I make a new change, then it will be the second version of the code. So you will also have the older version and the newer version always. So that's why it's a best tool to keep all the versions of your code. Okay. Better understanding. So the understanding is like every time when you make changes, when you want to deploy your changes, so you need to have a approval. Let's say you need to create a pull request and get the approval of your peer, your colleague, or maybe your manager to or a release manager to before deploy your changes. So it's better to use this version control system tools, so that it will you don't need to like directly deploy your changes. You can get it will always be reviewed by someone and approved by someone before your deployments. Better collaboration. So those tools are used to chat. If there is like you can provide your comments, right? So if you do a code review, you can provide your comments in the version control system itself, so that the developers will see those comments and make their changes and then reply back in your in the same tool itself. Okay, next, pipeline management. Copedo uses the pipeline management to have all your environments included in that pipeline, so that it mentions which is what are all your developer environments, and what is your integration environment there. So it's kind of a cycle where you follow in your development life cycle, right? So here if you see this pipeline, so we have three developer environments. From these three developer environments, the changes will be integrated to the integration environment, and from integration environment it will be moved to UAT and then to production. So you will initially before you start using Copedo, you have to define your pipeline, so that you don't need to always provide your target environment to deploy your changes. So whenever you commit some changes from the developer one, it will always get deployed to the automatically get deployed to the integration. You don't need to worry about which target sandbox you need to deploy. Okay, there are multiple types of branches in the repository, like in when you use Copado and the version control system. So the master branch is always the production. It represents your production org. And the future branch will be created when you commit your changes. So whenever you commit new changes for a particular user story, the future branch will be created. Promotion branch, when you try to deploy your changes from one environment to other environment, it will create promotion branch. Okay. Org branch is like every environment in that pipeline will have its own org branch, where always, like whenever you deploy changes from dev to UAT, they will have the separate branch in version control system, and or UAT will have a different org branch in your repository. So every org will have a org branch in your repository. Destination branch, so it's also the org branch only. Here, when you deploy from one environment to other environment, so the target environment will be the destination branch here. So that's also a org branch only. Okay, Copado branching strategy. Commit process, like now I have made some changes to I'm making, like I have got two user stories, user story 1 and user story 2. I have got two different types of requirements, and I'm making some changes, or maybe I'm creating some components, or I'm making some changes to the existing components as part of these two user stories. Okay, what will happen if I try to commit my changes? Okay, so the initially this cloud symbol is mentioning our environment. So this is the dev1 environment. I have made some changes for this user story. So the first step is I'll try to commit my changes from the environment to the future branch. The future branch will always be created by cloning the master. So the future branch will initially created from cloning the master branch, and it will commit the changes I have done in dev1 environment in the future branch. So the future branch will have both the production changes and the production components and the new changes I have included. Then the future branch will get merged to the org branch dev1. So we will have a dev1 org branch also, right? So the changes which I have committed will also be merged to the dev1 org branch. Now the what are the changes I have done is in both of these future and the dev1 branches. In the dev2, I have made some other maybe the different developer have made some different changes. When he tries to commit, initially the first step is it creates a future branch by cloning the master branch, and the commits the new changes to that future branch itself, and then merge it with the dev2 org branch. Okay, the next step, promotion to UAT. Let's say it's not the UAT, it's a target environment, but here I mentioned the target environment as a UAT. That's why I mentioned it as a promotion to UAT. Let's say if I try to deploy it from dev sandbox to UAT sandbox, what happens? Okay, here the UAT is a branch. Here it's a branch. Okay, whenever I try to promote the changes, let's say in the previous slide we have seen I have made some changes as part of the user story 1, right? Which are branch user story 1. Now I'm trying to deploy those changes, future branch like user story 1 change to UAT. What it does, system creates a new promotion branch by cloning the target environment branch. There we have seen like future branch will be created by cloning the master branch, right? But here the promotion branch will always be created by cloning the target org branch. Here the target org is UAT, so it clones the UAT branch and creates a new promotion branch. After that, the whatever the changes done as part of this user story 1 will be merged to that promotion branch. Then it will be deployed to the environment. Third step. The fourth step is like merging those changes to the org branch, which is like target org branch is UAT. Okay, these are the 4 steps. Okay, now I'm planning to promote the changes to production. So it's going to be the same, but here the thing is, when you want to, what if you want to deploy multiple user stories at a time. So this is the scenario where you deploy multiple user stories in a single promotion itself. So what it does, it will create a promotion branch by cloning the target arc branch. Here the target org is master, that's why it's cloning the promotion branch, promotion tree, by cloning the master branch. And then initially it will commit the changes done on the user story 1. It will merge those changes to the promotion 3 branch. And next we have another user story 2. The changes done in this user stories 2 will also be merged to the same promotion branch. So the system will use the same promotion branch for keeping the changes from these two user stories and deploy it to the target environment, which is the production here, and then merge all those changes to the target org branch, which is a master branch here. So this is the process of deploying multiple user stories with the same promotion. Okay, this is committing the commission process. Like when you commit the changes, how it will happen. Let's say I have committed a new change in developer environment, which is like commit 5, and committing it to the feature branch, which is a user story 1. Initially it will be deployed to the target branch, which is a UAT, using the promotion 1. So the changes committed as part of commit 5 is on the user story 1, promoted to UAT using promotion 1. Similar to that, the commit 6, the changes in the commit 6 are committed to the user story 2 and promoted to the UAT using promotion 2 and saved it in the UAT. At last, whenever you want to deploy it to the production, so everything will be deployed together in the same promotion, which is promotion 3 to the production. Okay, this is just a simple, like a sample commit process. Okay, static code analysis is a so it's a we have to do a code analysis and code review before we deploy our code changes to from one environment to mostly from the developer environment to the integration environment, right? So Copedo provides the some of the default static analysis tool together with the Copedo itself. You can use those static analysis tool to analyze your code, analyze the or review your code, and it provides the results of the static code analysis, and you can work on those and you can resolve those issues. Okay, now I complete the presentation. I'll go to the demo. I'll show a small demo of the process, how we are using the Copedo. So before that, do you have any queries? Okay, I'll go through the queries initially. User story 1 is updating the same class as user story user story 1. Will the changes that the user story 1 did not get merged with the okay, so it will provide in the system will provide you the merge conflicts issue. I'll show that in the demo itself. So what if two same components are updated in the two different user stories? So I'm going to show show it in the demo. Okay, so initially I'll talk through the Copedo licenses. So we have multiple licenses for the Copedo. Copedo is just like a app exchange to app exchange app where you can install it in your it's a package. So Copedo package, you can install it in your production org and you can use it. Okay, and based on these licenses, you will get the access. So the Copedo license is mainly for the release manager, who will get the access to all the Copedo Copedo tools, but not the compliance hub and those tools. But he will get access to all the Copedo objects, so that he will be able to deploy he or she will be able to deploy the changes to the production. But the change management licenses are for the developers, where they can commit their changes to the user stories. After that, he can just submit it for the approval, and then list manager will be taking care of the deployments. You can also automate your deployments using your continuous integration and the continuous deployment process provided in the Copedo. So that's the different configuration itself. I'll provide you the resource like link, so that you can go through those documentations, how to implement continuous integration and continuous delivery in Copedo later. Okay. So here I have created two different user stories. I have two different sandboxes. Let me go through the sandbox. Okay, this is my dev1 sandbox. Here in dev1 sandbox, what I have done, I have created a trigger. Okay, just a simple trigger and that is class for that trigger. And I have what I have done. After that, I have committed the changes in this user story. User story is 0, right? Let me show that. So before go to that, you should always create a user story record to deploy your changes from one environment to other environment. This is a user story record. There you will give, you have to provide the name of that user story, and then these are all optional. You can add project, but the project is mandatory. Why? Because the project is linked to the pipeline. So if you want to if you want the Copedo to follow the particular pipeline, you should always link your project there. Then the user story will automatically follow the pipeline process. Okay, but the release and sprint team, all these things are optional. Okay, and then mainly we use a status, the promotion test level. The test level you can define here, but if you define here also, you can override it in the later part when you deploy your changes, when you promote your changes. Okay, the status, it can be automatically changed, or if you want, you can manually change. Okay, this is the next important part, the org credential. The org credential is the source org. You need to provide which from which org it has to get all the changes, and it from the source org, the pipeline defines the target org. So here, if you have chosen dev1 as a source org, from the pipeline, it automatically takes UAT as the UAT as our target org. This is my pipeline. Okay, see, dev1 and dev2 are my developer orgs. In this pipeline itself, I have defined from dev1 or dev2, it has to always deploy to the deploy all the changes to the UAT. It's a target branch. From UAT, it should always deploy the changes to production. Okay. The next thing is view in Git. So here I'm using GitHub as my repository tool. So a system like Copedo automatically takes care of creating the branches in your repository tool. So you don't need to worry about creating the branches with the same name. Whenever you create a user story, it automatically creates not at the time of creating the user story. Whenever you commit your changes to the particular user story, it creates a new branch with the same name in your repository, and it commits all your changes into that repository. So here I have said I have added these two components, right? One is the class, one is the trigger, and another one is Apex class. Okay, when you have added our Apex trigger or Apex class, system automatically enforces the 75% of coverage. So whenever you trying to deploy it, you try to deploy it from the initial sandbox, which is a developer sandbox, to the next environment itself, you need to get the coverage of at least 75%. Otherwise, system won't allow you to deploy. Okay, there is a workaround to bypass this, but it has to be enforced, right? Okay, here I have added these two components. Okay, let me show the feature branch first. So here you can go from here. If you click on this link, it will automatically take you. Sorry, here. If you click on this link, it automatically takes you to that branch. See, feature story users story 0, and the classes. See the triggers. The trigger will have that particular trigger. Now open that. Yeah, the trigger code is there. Okay, you can easily redirect it to your feature branch from here, from your user story. The next thing is I have the user story 1, which takes the org credential, which is a source org, as the dev2. I'll show the dev2. Dev2 also has the same trigger, but I just added an one line to that same component, but I didn't add any test class here. Let me deploy the user story 0 first. Okay, to deploy that, you have to use there are multiple steps to start the deployment. One is submit. Mostly we won't provide these checkboxes to the developers. They have to click on submit, and after they click on submit, it will so yeah, let me click that. Okay, You click the submit, so it automatically shows the right. Your pipeline path is this, and you just need to submit your changes. When you submit, this checkbox will be automatically ticked. So it's kind of mainly the deployment process, the promotion process starts from this checkbox only. That's why you can manually update this checkbox or click on the submit button. Either way, it will start the promotion. But now, since the ready to promote checkbox is checked, it is just ready for the promotion. So you need to go to the pipeline manager again. Here in the pipeline manager, before it was showing 0, 0. Now after that, I have updated the user story ready to promote checkbox to checked to true. It automatically updates the numbers. So these numbers are like giving me the list of user stories ready for the promotion, ready to promote from this particular environment, sandbox environment, to the next environment. So if I click on this one, see, it automatically shows whichever the user story are ready for the promotion. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to so here there are three options: validate, promote, and deploy. Promote and deploy will automatically create the promotion record and start the deployment itself. Promote will just create the promotion record. It won't start the deployment. If you want to make some changes before you promote, you can do that directly in the branch. Okay. Validate selections will create the promote record and will also create the deployment record, but it will just validate your changes, but it won't exactly deploy the changes to the target environment. And the test levels, you can provide your test levels here. No test runs, run specified tests. Here I have the test class available. I just click on the run specified test. I click the promote and deploy record. Okay, so I have told you in while I was showing the slides, I mentioned that whenever you start to promoting your changes, system will automatically create the promotion branch, right? So initially we have seen the future branch. Now we are going to see the promotion branch. The promotion branch will be created by cloning the target arc branch. Okay, so this is sorry, this is the promotion record. Okay, I'll also show update this. Okay, let me go to this. Okay, now in the list of, okay, it takes some time to, yeah, it processes, right? So it takes some time to create the promotion branches in the branch. And see, it's trying to create the branch and merge the branch. So because after creating the promotion branch, it has to merge it with the like a source branch, right? Yeah, yeah. The user story is this. This is the promotion branch where it have mentioned like what is this, what is the source environment, what is the destination environment, the status says whether it's been like deployed or not, or any errors or something like that. So the status will show everything. Okay, then the list of user stories deployed as part of this promotion will be displayed here, and the deployment. So the deployment record is going to be deploy the changes. So see here, now I go to the GitHub, refresh. If I see, if I open the branches list, a new promotion branch list, promotion branch has been created. Okay, it has the changes done as part of the user story 0. Okay, now while the deployment, okay, now the deployment is in progress. Now we go to the next user story. Okay, user story 1 is having the same trigger, but just I added one more extra line into that same trigger. So after you make the changes, what you need to do, you exactly need to click on that commit changes button. So it will open you the commit pages. Here it will list down all the metadata in your source org. Whatever the source org here, the source org is dev2. It will list down all the metadata from the source org. But after that, like maybe you have made some changes recently, but those you have added 4 or 5 new components in your source system, but it won't automatically come here. What you need to do, you need to refresh your metadata list. So here it shows the date and time, right? So the last refresh happened on that date. The components created or updated before that date will be available here. So after that date, if you have added new components, you have to click on this. It will take some time to refresh the metadata list from our source sandbox. I have already selected that trigger in this, but what if I want to recommit my changes? Okay, I have committed already one component here. If I want to recommit, I have to use this drop down, recommit files. If I use recommit files, it shows me the selected metadata. I have already selected this apex trigger from this target sandbox. I just need to yeah, it's already selected. If I want to select new metadata also, I can select and just click on the commit changes. It will recommit the new changes from whatever the, like, let's say after created and after commit I have made some more changes, so it will be recommitted to the same branch, same future branch. So if you want to recreate like if you want to create a new future branch instead of the old one, you can use option recreate the new feature branch. Okay, there are some other things that are like destructive changes. Destructive changes are to delete the metadata from the target sandbox. Full profiles and permission sets are like if you created a new profile and a new permission set, you have to use this. Otherwise, don't use this, because when you choose a profile here, it automatically takes the changes related to the other components selected in that particular user story. Otherwise, if you select, if you want to deploy the full changes, all the administrative changes and all the other changes from the profiles, then you have to use full profiles and permission sets. But mostly try to avoid use this. Okay, I click on cancel because I have already committed the change from this dev2 environment. Okay, here you see I have added a trigger, but I didn't add a test class. It shows 75% coverage should be enforced, but it has apex code. Now the coverage is 0. It doesn't have any coverage. What if I try to submit my changes, like try to commit my changes? See, shows does not meet the required apex coverage. So you have to run your test class and get the coverage of at least 75%. Otherwise, you cannot deploy the changes. But there is a workaround we usually use, but we try to avoid developers to use that. For that, you need to remove this checkbox, or you need to make this checkbox non-editable, or remove this checkbox from the page layout, because this is editable. You can tell system that this user story doesn't have the doesn't have the apex class or apex components. Now, even though I don't have the test class, I can submit my changes. Here I'm going to use one more process. Like previously we have seen the ready to promote, right? Now I'm going to use this promote and deploy checkbox. If I use this promote and deploy checkbox, it directly creates the promotion record and the deployment record. I don't need to go to the pipeline manager and click on that number and deploy. It directly starts the deployment. So I click on this. See, I save the record. After that, I go to the related list and I see the promotion. Yeah, user story promotion. See, the promotion record has been automatically created. Before that, we have seen a process of go to the pipeline manager and click on that number to deploy. Right now, if I use the promote and deploy checkbox, it automatically creates the promotion record and starts the deployment. Okay, what is the okay? Now I check the deployment status for the first one, promotion 0. It's completed successfully. Now I go to the GitHub, update, refresh. See, UAT has recent updates. Now I go to the UAT branch. Yeah, UAT has my new changes, deletion, and the class, that is class. Okay, now I have started the one more deployment, right, which is this promotion 1, and okay, I think I forgot to do one thing, so I forgot to exclude it from the auto resolve. So since it's a new line, what system does is like it automatically merges this. So what it'll do, I'll make the change to the existing line itself, save it, save my changes. I'll go to that user story 1. I'll click on the commit changes. Here I made change to the same component. What I have to do is I have to recommit that file. I click on recommit. The selected metadata is there. I just need to commit the changes. What it does is like it will take the new change from the system and update the feature branch. Like while updating, we will see the other things like yeah, I have explained about the pipeline manager. There are some OR credentials and Git repository records, and it also takes the snapshots. You can there are multiple tools available inside Copado itself where you can easily use to see the snapshot difference, and you can take the snapshot of each and every environment in the pipeline at any time. So if like let's say I want to take the backup of the production, I just need to go to the Git snapshot records. The Git snapshot is an object where it automatically creates a snapshot record for all the environments. You just need to go to the production snapshot and then start your start taking snapshot. So if you just start taking snapshot from that particular environment, it automatically takes the backup of that environment. So metadata backup. Okay, so they take snapshot. You just need to use this take snapshot. Now it takes the snapshot of the production with all the new changes happened. So it's like taking the backup of the whole production metadata. Okay. Not only for the production, so Git snapshot records, it will be available for all the environments. You can take backup of any environment at any time. Okay, that's one thing. So when you take the snapshot backup, it automatically updates the branches in your GitHub repository. So here, if I let's say if I take the snapshot of the production branch, the master or main branch will be automatically updated with the new changes. Okay, that's one thing. Why it shows like this? Okay, shows there is no change. I have made the change, but still it shows change. Let me try to update. Update this. Okay. The next thing we wanted to see, I wanted to show is like a snap, you can add your Selenium test automation. You can have your Selenium automation also. You can run the compliance scan if you are using the compliance hub tool from Copedo, or you can run your static code analysis. So if you click on that, it automatically runs there are certain rules included in the static code analysis tool. So it will run all those rules and it will provide you the result before the die commit changes. The static code analysis. And the other thing is like you can use the scratchbox instead of our sandboxes. Also, there are some different configurations you have to do before you start using scratchbox. You can open the pull request also from your user story. If you click on the pull request, it automatically takes you to the mostly it will take you to the uh, repository branch where it will automatically creates the take you to the create pull request page itself. Okay, if the pull request has been already created, and it will redirect you to that pull request itself. So here you can assign it to someone, assign it to any reviewers, and you can create your pull request, and you can see the changes done for that particular user story by creating this. Let me create a pull request and show. See the commits. The commit shows you what are the differences, what are the files. See, files changed. Here it will show you all, since all these lines are newly added, it's showing here. But if there is a particular change happened in the maybe if it's an existing component, and if you have made some two or you have added some 2 or 3 lines, and you have removed, if you have removed some 2 or 3 lines, it will show differences. Like green color will be for the adding new lines, and red color will be for removing the lines. Okay, yeah, these are the things. And here I'll try to promote and deploy again. I just wanted to show the sorry, I'm just planning to show the merge conflicts once, so after that we can wrap up this demo itself. And then okay, I have said this, it should have created a new promotion record. Yeah, new promotion record got created. Let's go to that. It's trying to create. So meanwhile, if you have any queries, do you have any queries? Okay, there are so many queries. Where can I create user story record? It's a user story object. You can go to the user story tab and just create the user story record. But there is one more thing, is like you can integrate your Copedo tool with your project management tool. It can be a Jira, it can be Rally, or it can be MS Azure DevOps. You can integrate these project management tools with your Copedo, so that whenever you create a task in your project management tool, it automatically creates user stories in Copedo. You don't need to manually create user stories always, so that you can keep track of the changes made for that particular task. It also integrates with the status, is also integrated between these two systems. Yeah, run specified test classes. Yeah, I have shown that. Then yes, okay, how does it work for system files like dot profile, dot permissions, page layout? Okay, the permission sets, profiles, and page layouts, you have to commit your changes. Otherwise, you should not manually do any changes directly in your target environment. So because these files can also be deployed from one sandbox to other sandbox, right? Or maybe it can maybe from a sandbox to a prod. So from one environment to other environment, you have to always try to avoid the manual deployments. You have to do the deployments via Copedo. Why? Because here the source of truth is from repository. You can manually make your changes in your target environment, but the branches, the target org branch or the source org branch won't get updated when you make the changes directly in the in Salesforce, right? So after that, when maybe in the future deployments, if the change is not in the branch, it will throw you error. That's why, so you have to try you should mostly 90 to 9 sorry 98 99% you have to try avoiding the manual deployments. But if you want to ignore some of the component list, you should use if I go to the just okay, if you go to the branches, every branch will have this git ignore file, right? Here you should mention the components which has to be ignored whenever you try to um, deploy. Here, why the triggers classes are mentioned is like the triggers classes starts with Copado __ should not be deployed. So it's like their package component should not be deployed using this using the Copado. That's why they have mentioned like this. But you can mention like if you don't want the permission sets to be deployed, you just need to provide permission set / then none of the permission sets will get deployed from one environment to mainly to that target sandbox. Okay, now I go to I don't know why it's not showing the merge conflicts. It will always show the merge conflict here with the resolve merge conflicts button. You just need to click on that. It will show you 2 panel with the changes happened in that particular user story. Actually, we have 3 panels concept. You can use any one, like it can show single panel or 2 panels or 3 panels. Yeah, you can go through that in the documents which are available in the Copedo site itself. Let me show the success.copedo.com. So it's a site provided by them. It's kind of a Trailhead site, or it's kind of a success community provided by community site provided by Copedo itself. Here you need to go to help and training and go to the academy. It will show you all the Trailhead modules where you can go through each and every trials, like maybe architect, developer. And for certifications, we have 3 different certifications for Copedo. Fundamentals 1 is kind of a Copedo administrator certification. Fundamentals 2 is kind of a Copedo developer certification. This is Copedo consultant certification. This is the top level certification provided by Copedo. Other than that, you have maintenance, and then there are multiple models you can go through here. Yeah, so after that, there are some docs site, docs.copedo.com. I have provided the links in the slide itself so that you can go through. These docs also clearly explain each and every topics. It's kind of a help.salesforce.com. Okay, and then the learning things, like you can go to the training calendar. In the training calendar, you can see multiple trainings. If you go through Copedo fundamentals training, it's free, and it also provides you the certification voucher also, so that you can freely get your certifications. Okay, I think that's all from my side.
Great, Arun. Thanks. I think there's one question again now.
Okay, how does Copedo handle the system files changes for the merge conflicts, meaning fields added in line 10 and line 20 are to the destination? So yeah, it like if the new fields are added, like if it's a new field, system automatically takes care of the merge because it's a new field, right? It automatically merges those changes. But if the changes happened in the same line, like then what does system do? It will show you the merge conflicts with the resolve merge conflicts button, as I said before, and you just need to click on the resolve merge conflicts. It will show you in 2 or 3 panels where the changes happened in the what is it in the target arc branch, and what is in the resolution branch, and what is in the promotion branch. The resolution branch will be the final take, and it will update whatever the changes in the resolution branch to the promotion branch and deploy the changes in that resolution branch. Definitely, there are many merge conflict panes in Copedo also, but most of the times it automatically takes care of the mergers, so you don't need to worry about the mergers always. But the to resolve the mergers also, after showing the merge conflicts, it's very easy in Copedo. It shows it gives you the good UI with the multiple panels, so that you can easily deploy, you can easily merge your changes. Yeah, any other queries? Or
Thanks, Arun. I think it was a great session. A lot of uh, demos. That's good for everyone to see the tool and how it's actually done. It looks very simple. I mean, you made it look simple, but it is nice session. I think we'll just get to the question, then the quiz part. One question, 4 options. Whoever answers it first will get it. So just get ready with your fingers on the keyboard. Yeah, Arun, you can share the question. Yeah.
Okay, so these are the 2 resources links which I said. So you can go to that link and go to that. So shall I go to the quiz, Manish?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
guys, be ready. Okay. When a user story is deployed to the production environment, Copedo reuses the same dash that were created when he committed in the dev1 environment, whether it's a promotion branch or feature branch or org branch or a master branch, which will get reused when you want to deploy.
1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4. Let's see. Anyone who wants to try 3? You never know. Right?
Any more answers, or shall we go to the answer?
Yeah, I think, yeah, no one's ready to answer. I think, yeah.
Okay, so the answer is future branch, because when you commit the changes in the dev1 environment, it will, or whenever you commit the changes, it will always create the future branches only. The same future branch will be used to all the environments, even though it creates a promotion branch for each and every environment, every deployment, but the future branch is always one, right? It will always have the changes, the current changes. So the future branch will be used for all the deployments.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
future branches. I think Amit is
yeah, Amit is
person
the
who
only one who
answered
answered
correct.
it right. Yeah, Amit, you can send me the email address. Yeah, you can ping me separately also. I think Arun, thanks a lot. It was very useful. Definitely, I think people were involved in the session, so a lot of questions directly also. That's why we don't have any questions now. But yeah, thanks a lot.
Sure, people, guys, if you have any queries or anything related to Copedo, just ping me. Like, just contact me in LinkedIn or anywhere. I'll be open to answer. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Manish. Thanks for providing uh,
No problem.
opportunity to
Yeah.
share.
No problem. Thanks all for attending. We'll see you with the next session. It will be soon again, probably next month itself. We'll not, because we have a lot of topics and speakers interested. So we'll just get to the next topic soon. I think we'll also do one on DevOps itself, but it will be using the Salesforce tools itself. So like SFDX, and we'll see how it is different from Copado. So probably that would be the next session. Again, it would be from Salesforce itself. Yeah. Let's see. So I'll post again for the recording and everything. It will be on this event page itself. I'll upload it tomorrow once we get it. Thank you all. Thanks for this. Thanks for attending.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Arun. Okay, see you guys. Bye. Amit, I got your email address. Yeah, thanks.